In focus tonight, the morning after pill. Watson Pharmaceuticals gearing up to sell a generic version, but are there any hidden consequences of making emergency contraceptive too accessible? Let's ask Hadley Heath, senior policy analyst for Independent Women's Forum, and Kirsten Powers, Daily Beast columnist and Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. Great to have you here. Kirsten, I'll start with you. You know, I remember the promise of birth control originally. Allow women to take, control of their reproductive lives. Has this gone too far now?
Well, look, I think that there's a real possibility that this could be a problem. It's supposed to be emergency contraception. It was created to be in an emergency. A woman who's raped, for example, she should have access to emergency contraception. It's not supposed to be used as birth control, so we don't really know when you have women using it as birth control, which there are a lot of women who do that, what that does to your body, because it's flooding your body with hormones at a very high level and really affecting your menstrual cycle, and you have a lot of young women doing it who aren't even really fully developed. So I think, I'm very uncomfortable with it actually being sold over the counter to children, to young girls who are having sex.
Sometimes it's the moms who take them in to get this drug because they want to make sure they don't get pregnant, and the kids have to sign with their mom there. I can't imagine the mindset of a family that goes through this kind of thing. Hadley, what do you say? Is this going too far?
That's a great question. There are some women in the United States today who are going to be perfectly comfortable using Plan B, and if they use it the appropriate way, then that's their choice. If it's safe and it's legal and they're doing it properly, then that's their choice. But there are other women who are going to feel very strongly about this drug. They're going to feel some moral convictions that it's wrong to use this drug, and that's a debate we should have. That's a debate that should stay in civil society. I think it's healthy to have this conversation. I think what's not healthy is when government intervenes and takes sides effectively in this debate by mandating that every insurance policy in the United States or every employer in the United States who provides insurance policies covers these drugs that can raise these moral and sometimes religious questions. That's where we run into problems.
Sales of Plan B, the drug you just mentioned, Plan B one step, $88 million over the 12 months ending May 2012. Kirsten, what do you say about that? Should, private insurance plans be forced to make this available?
Well, if they have a religious objection to it, then no, they shouldn't. There should be an exception for that. I don't think that in the same way, you shouldn't force a Catholic hospital to perform an abortion. And for some people, Plan B is the same as having an abortion, and so I think that there should be an exception created for them. I also just think there needs to be more discussion of this, because what people are forgetting is one of the, dangers of sex is getting pregnant. One of the other things, though, is STDs, and a lot of STDs, like HPV, for example, are linked to cervical cancer. There could be other things out there that we don't even know about. I mean, before AIDS, we knew what AIDS was. We didn't really know what it was. We just knew it was killing people. So people need to be aware that they are putting their lives in jeopardy, their health in jeopardy, when they're having all this unprotected sex, thinking, oh, well, I'll just go and take Plan B, no biggie.
Hadley, to you, I think this is really changing the relationship between the sexes, because now young men put a lot of pressure on women to have sex with no protection at all, and they can say, hey, look, you can just take the morning after pill, it'll be fine. I think net, this is probably a negative for a lot of young women out there. What do you say?
Right. Well, I think young men have probably always been pressuring young women to have sex, but I think the question here is a legitimate one to raise this concern. What is this doing to our attitudes about sex and sexuality? Does it mean we're going to approach sex more casually? Does it mean that this pill to some people represents a delete button or an undo button? You can't simply undo something. The consequences of sex go far beyond the physical. It's actually something that I agree we should have more of a conversation about in civil society and in families. It's something that we should probably be more frank about. It is something that comes with serious consequences.
Really rides under the radar. You guys said it. Hadley and Kirsten, thanks for coming on tonight. Really appreciate your time. Always a pleasure to have both of you here.